Bowling with the Theft.
I encourage you to get fast.
What? All things the game of bowling.
Helping bowlers.
The hand collapses down.
And I'm going to try to bowl the best I can.
1,000 subscribers.
And I want to challenge Ted Nelson.
Tom Corbett.
Jason Belmonte.
Hey everybody, good Wednesday night, and welcome to another episode of Bowling with the Theft, the platform where you share your bowling story live on our YouTube channel. It has been a heck of a week gone by. Hope you had a chance to check out some of our coverage of the PWBA Go Bowling Twin Cities Open. I was there for the entire weekend. A great event as always. So kudos to Brent Prentice and his staff at Cedar Vale Lanes for putting that on. The PWBA tour now underway, and we've got some stuff to talk about as far as that's concerned. Starting actually with the second event, which had its pre-tournament qualifier earlier today, the PWBA Bowlers Journal Rockford Open. As you can see, 15 players moving on to the main field. One that I do want to point out is at number 12 right there, Crystal Elliott, who finished fifth in her very first PWBA National Tour event as a member. Yeah, she's had some success, and she'll be in the main field again for the second tournament of the year. You've got the practice session and all kinds of things like the Pro-Am starting up tomorrow, and then the tournament in earnest on Friday. So we will soon have another PWBA National Tour champion crowned. Connor Brown in the house saying, who's that guy in the intro voting for Jason Belmonte on the show? Well, that's you, Connor. And hopefully he hears it. Maybe someday we will have Belmo on the show. Love to talk to him about bowling, of course. Jay Santos, one of our other regulars, saying howdy, Fef. Howdy, Jay. Thank you for watching some of those videos from the PWBA and for joining us live if you're like Jay. And joining us live tonight, the live chat is open. Feel free to use it and chime in, leave a comment or two. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions for our guest or anything like that. And if you're watching on replay, leave a comment. I see them all and would love to hear your thoughts on our guests, on bowling, on the show, on my hair, whatever you prefer to talk about. Vincent Chen in saying hello, everyone. Hey, Vincent. Jay with the thumbs up, and Derek Michaud from Flush in the Pocket. Hi, buddy. Go Bruins. He is cheering on those Bruins hard. I know he's a big fan out there in New England, and the Bruins, I believe, taking on the Maple Leafs, if I'm not mistaken, in that series. So we don't have any professional hockey here in Wisconsin, so it's easy to get kind of disconnected from all that. Anyway, let's go back to that first PWBA tour stop of the season and recognize Shannon Pluhowski, who won that Twin Cities Open for her third career PWBA tour title. As you saw, if you watched on Bowl TV or saw the coverage on our channel, she spent much of the PWBA Go Bowling Twin Cities Open qualifying, bouncing around the top 10, but really turned it up in the fourth and final qualifying round where she secured the top seed. Bowling against Verity Crawley in the title match, she won 236 to 203 and capturing her first title since the 2021 PWBA Tour Championship. Now, Pluhowski was the lone lefty in that final five, as you see her getting a little emotional as she has realized the gravity of that moment when she won the title. I have been in contact with Shannon a little bit. She's got a few logistical things that she's dealing with today, but I am hoping that maybe, just maybe, if things kind of loosen up in her life, that she might be able to join us here. We'll have to see. Hopefully that'll happen. If not, life gets busy. If anybody knows that, I certainly do. So the thing that people are really talking about the PWBA Twin Cities Open has to do not with Pluhowski, but rather with Verity Crawley, who was the runner-up in the event. Verity, if you paid attention if you followed things, was the runner-up. She almost ran the ladder. So this is the 10th frame of the first game. You can see she's throwing a urethane ball in on that strike. That's the front 10 that she's got at this moment. All of a sudden, she changes to a purple ball. I believe it's an optimum idle. Hits that strike on the second shot, and then throws the optimum idle again on the third ball. Goes a little high, leaves a 3-6-10. So a lot of the conversation in that was not about her 72-pin victory over Crystal Elliott. That was well established. But the fact that she was in the running for a bonus. Had she shot 300 in that game, she would receive a $10,000 bonus. So the question people are asking is, why did she switch balls? So I reached out to her and asked her about, if she was aware of that $10,000 bonus, if her ball reps were aware of the $10,000 bonus, and if they were not aware, with the benefit of hindsight, would she have switched balls the way she did? Here's what she responded to me. She said, no, they did not know, and the players were not told. So I also reached out to USBC, asking about the same situation. So I received a response from Jason Thomas, the Senior Director of Digital Media. He said the 300 game bonus is typically communicated as a reminder during production meetings before the finals start. That didn't happen last weekend, and apparently Verity wasn't aware of it. He goes on to say, we certainly regret the communication breakdown, and moving forward, we will add reference to the 300 game bonus in the rules. Now, the history of the bonus dates back to the PWBA relaunch in 2015. The tour has had two $10,000 bonus winners since then. One of them was Dasha Kovalova in the 2019 Louisville Open on CBS Sports Network, where she shot 300 to finish off that championship match. The other was Liz Johnson in 2021. That championship was aired on Bowl TV. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Raise your snack standards. Chip Magnet Salsa.
Yeah, you got to raise those snack standards when it's snacking time. And Chip Magnet is definitely the brand of salsa you'll want to check out during those hungry times. Chip Magnet, based in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. It distributes to stores in more than 38 states and Canada, and that includes Minnesota. If you're in the Twin Cities, you can find it at Whole Foods, Nolan's Festivals, Kowalski's, Lunds and Byerly's, most all small co-op stores, or you can go online. ChipMagnetSalsa.com is the place. And if you enter this promo code BWTF2024 at checkout, you get 25% off your purchase of $30 or more. There is no limit to that deal from our friends at Chip Magnet Salsa. And again, a big thank you to them for sponsoring Bowling with the Fef and supporting local bowling in our area, which they do a ton of, let me tell you. Let's see. We got comments. Panthers second round. So they must have gotten past the Leafs, which seems to happen just about every year. The Leafs kind of, Leafs fans have hopes and, not really. Not really excited about much in the postseason. Connor Brown says that was amazing to watch. Interesting to see her switch balls. Yep, I thought so too. Also wondering why she switched balls, because she had amazing look with the urethane ball and did end up going back to the urethane ball in the two games after that one. Jay says the Dasha interview was great last week. Thank you so much, Jay. I thought so too. She's kind of a different personality, and it's kind of fun to have a conversation with her. And if you missed it, feel free to go back. There's a playlist for the 2024 PWBA Go Bowling Twin Cities Open. You can find Dasha's interview, an interview with Jordan Richard, Lauren Russo, and many others. And I've got a couple in the can that I'll be adding to that. So let's get to tonight's guest, who is nice. I mentioned that in the description here on YouTube, but don't take my word for it. Take theirs.
Well, Dana is one of the nicest guys that I've ever met.
I think I really got to knowing him more the last couple years with being with my husband and seeing him at tournaments.
Okay.
Super nice guy, super great bowler.
So, super nice guy, super great bowler, and he bowls right-handed. I'm trying to make the symbol right-handed, not R-I-G-H-T, although he's very good at that. But right-handed as in W-R-I-G-H-T, both hands. As you can see in the graphic there with the silhouette, Dana is one of the nicer guys you'll meet on the lanes, and he is joining us tonight from St. Paul, Minnesota. How you doing, Dana?
Good evening. How are you, sir?
Very good. Very good. Glad to see you got the cats around.
Yep.
You've got a couple of
Hey,
them,
by
right?
the way, I'm sponsored by Chip Magnet tonight.
Hey, there we go.
Boy.
I love it. Love
I had
it.
to do
What
that
flavors do you have there?
That would be mango salsa and wildly delicious.
Oh, that's my favorite.
I'm running the radio voice for them now.
Yeah, you do. All right. Well, that's great. I told you beforehand, we're a 2-cat family, so I understand the challenges of being cat owners. So that's really cool. But I want to start this out by wishing you a happy anniversary. Now,
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, we rescheduled this once because it was my fault. I unfortunately double booked. But we got it to this date, and I had no idea it was your anniversary. So I guess a big thank you to you for coming on today, and also to Mrs. Wright, because I hate to take an hour of the time on such a special day.
We're okay with that. We already did our thing for the evening, so we're good.
Great. Well,
Yeah,
happy
all
day to you
good.
both, and certainly glad to have you on. Either way. Let's start out by talking about your experience at the PWBA event this weekend. Saw you over there talking with Elise Bolton, who was our guest a couple weeks ago, and Scott Pohl. Tell me what you saw while you were out there. You were out there on Friday.
It was amazing to watch. The girls are so mechanically sound. You watch the guys use more of their muscle in their memory than the girls. The girls are just, everything is follow through, stayed out at the line, and that's a detriment to the coaches that they've been through in just their work ethic in bowling. If the guys would use some of that to their own personal thing, but it's just so much fun to watch them because every girl does that. You don't see too many people, the guys, they're standing at fifth arrow going, let's wing it. The girls just naturally move, and they continue to use their arm swing the same way. They know how to manipulate the ball that way, but guys use so much muscle compared to them, and they make it look effortless, and it's so fun to watch, and I can't, it's just amazing. It's so fun to watch all these girls, from the little ones to the bigger girls, they all thank God they're so talented, everyone that's there. If you can't go leave there and not be proud of every one of those girls that bowled, you shouldn't, don't come and watch, because that's what they do for a living, some of them. And it's so nice that there's an opportunity for everybody to be able to bowl professionally or otherwise.
Yeah.
When these girls go to college, these coaches are, they go from like a junior program that they're okay, but the colleges groom them and how they're like that. And as you can see, all the people that were out there were so many people in attendance. That's just showing the support of the game still. And that's, gotta give that a lot of credit. The people keep coming. I wish we had our senior tour back here again, someday maybe. But it's so nice that we support bowling in our state alone. Other states support it, of course, but we don't get the pro tour to come here. I think Red Prentice and his crew, they do a fabulous job for getting that tour here, and it's so nice that we have something to go like that. There's we got our normal tournaments around here, but none of the professional type tournaments, and I wish we could bring them back.
Yeah, it's I totally agree with you. It's great to have that national tour stop in the Twin Cities. There's another national tour stop coming up in Green Bay. You go years without this kind of thing, and you really realize how special it is. And like you said, to see them compete and to see how solid the releases are, that's what really kind of stands out to me. Is every single one of these athletes is just awesome.
Right. And it doesn't matter, even if they're struggling, a lot of times you can't tell when they're struggling in the women, but guys, you really could pick it up quicker. It's just because, they naturally could just throw the ball, with such fluidness, and my biggest thing is I couldn't believe how all of them get down to the line so easy. Guys are standing up, some of them don't bend at all, but the girls, they all get down, and God, I wish I could do that.
You and me both. Yeah. No, it was a terrific event, and glad you had a chance to see it, and everybody else who got out there. I also want to bring up a few weeks ago when you and I teamed up to bowl doubles at the That's What I Do doubles event in Lakeville, Minnesota. I ended up saddling you with this. And you were a little better than I was, which was understandable.
Well, that 140 my last game really did help us either, but it's we were going in the right direction.
Yeah,
we weren't that far out. I mean, we both shoot around 190 there, and we're in. We're in the cash money. But we had fun, and I'm glad I had the experience to go with you.
See?
Oh, who's that guy throwing that crowd? Oh, why you got to throw the Brooklets?
No, but I like to
there's
have
a better one there.
I like to have video of each of the guests, throwing the ball, because we need to know what we're talking about here. And boy, I tell you what, in the early going on this, you were really locked in.
I had a really, really nice look, and and I don't know what happened that third game, but it's okay. Like I said, I had a blast with you, and it was nice to finally meet up with you and see what we could do together. It didn't happen this time, but we'll try it again at another point, and we'll see what happens.
For sure.
Mike never puts out an easy shot, so it's we had to struggle. And when you were struggling a little bit, I got you to move a little bit right, and that was the look we needed. Both of us, and it was there. We just had a bad last game, and we move on. It's just a game.
Yep.
And that's the way I look at things. You can't, if you're 100% all the time, it'd be great, but you're gonna have flaws, and we did, and we exposed our flaws. It's all good.
Jay said that it looks like I didn't like the burn. That seems like a common theme with me. Jay, you've probably seen in the Feftacular a couple times, I kind of struggled in the third game, and certainly on this, but it got tougher as the day wore on.
It did. When I bowled the second shift, I thought I seen the one guy move right, and I started there, and it was so speed sensitive. And in the middle of the last game of the third game, I moved into like 24th arrow and just threw that normal shot that I had beginning when we first started. I couldn't miss. I had the last six. I'm going, was it there? But I had to look out. So I just, I took my chances. But you gotta do things quick. You can't wait for something to happen. And that's what most people that I watch, they're chasing it too long. And that's just something I've learned over the last, period of time, especially bowling on some of the senior tour events. You don't have time to think. It's now or never. You're in trouble. If you start chasing it, you're going to be down, and you're going to have a couple opens, and you can't wait for that time to happen. You got to be around and be ready. And that's why when I seen something, that's why I mentioned maybe for you you need to move right just to have the ball pick up a little sooner. And that's something I pick up a lot, when I'm bowling, that, I try to help people. You know, if you're willing to listen, I see, like I said, from the just bowling some of the tour stuff, I pick it up really quick now, and I understand a lot more than I've ever. So yeah, when I bowl stuff, it's okay. Where am I going to go? You understand some of the patterns already, most of them, but when other people are struggling, especially in Mike's events, hey guys, that's not where you need to play there, because I want everybody to do good, especially the amateur stuff. You know, I like seeing everybody succeed, whether you're 120 or 240, it doesn't matter. As long as everybody's, having fun and, if you can make a paycheck, good for you. And if you have, you're around good people, it even makes it more fun.
Yeah, for sure. How many tournaments would you say you bowl in a month? 6 months?
Well, during the summer, or during the fall season, it's at least 3 out of 4 weekends.
Okay.
Because I got our Midwest senior stuff. Once in a while, I'll bowl the CBAs. But, during the season, there's always something going on.
Mhm.
So, if I could pick up something here or there, then I'll do it, whether it's a Mike's event or, now we're getting ready to go into the senior tour stuff, which is, a couple of weeks I'll be going down to Las Vegas to bowl the super senior and the senior masters. Now that I've turned 60, I can bowl the super senior stuff. But I'm busy. I mean, it's crazy during the, it's almost like I don't have time for league a lot of times just because I'm so paid. I need to bowl the other stuff.
Yeah.
And that's my focus. As funny as that, I don't bowl good league after I come off a tournament because normally it's a little harder pattern. So it's really hard for me to refocus my energy in a league. So now I got to the point of just go have fun in league. It's not about the average anymore. It's about just enjoying the people that I bowl with on my nights that I bowl.
Yeah.
And my one guy, his dad is so funny about it. He always tells me, well, you must have bowled a tournament because you're not in tournament mode anymore. It's so funny because he knows. He goes, well, you're struggling tonight. Yeah, I know. I go, you wouldn't believe the pattern we just bowled on. But he knows, and he sits back there and kind of laughs. Okay, it's time. He's got his fist pumped. Let's go now. So
Yeah, good stuff. Dana, when did you start bowling? What got you into our sport?
okay, so in '83, I didn't bowl juniors or anything. In '83, I was a friend of my dad. But our family was in the dog retriever business.
Okay.
Field trial competition dogs, Labradors, golden. And my dad's friend was a professional dog trainer. And he'd asked me to go south for the winter because that's what I really wanted to do. And we're down in a little small town of Texas. It was probably 100 people. But, during the day, we'd do the dogs. Well, there was a little 8-lane bowling center across the place where we were staying. And the guy, I walk in there and I'd watch him, I didn't care for bowling. A novice.
Mhm.
And the guy that owned it, he goes, hey, you keep on coming over here all the time. Do you want to learn how to bowl? I go, well, yeah, I know how to throw a bowling ball, but he goes, here. He gave me an LT-48 and a pair of Hush Puppy shoes. He goes, I'm going to teach you how to bowl. And then I find out that he is a regional pro down there.
Oh.
So it was kind of okay. So, probably month in down there, he goes, we're going to go bowl with my pro buddies. I go, oh, no, we're not. I'm not ready for that. He goes, no, you are ready. And I'm like, a 19-year-old kid. I'm going, I'm not ready for that. He goes, oh, you trust me, you're good. And I threw it I was probably fourth or fifth arrow to the gutter. I mean, my joke about that is I always said I could hook a bowling ball in a phone booth. That's how good I hooked the ball back in the day. But I couldn't pick up a spare. But he taught me all the lessons to learn, and when I came back, I said, my brother had asked me to bowl. I go, all right, I'll try it. And then but the second year in, you have league pots. I started winning a few dollars here, a few dollars there. I'm going, he's kind of easy. He's kind of easy money. I started getting that in my head. I was like, okay. So I just stuck to it. And then over the years, messing around, Jack, I'm going, all right. I was never a good spare shooter for the longest time. And then I finally, back, probably 10 years ago now, I said, how you need to be, to the next level somewhere. If you wanna go bowl some serious events, your local stuff's one thing, but you want to go bowl some of the other. I wanted to go as soon as I turned 50. I wanted to make sure I wanted to go bowl some senior tour events.
Sure.
But back in the day, I thought I was good enough, but I drank a lot. Unfortunately, it probably slowed my process where I wanted to be. Because I had people telling me, "You're good enough to bowl, but you like the sauce too much." Well, now I'm 26 years sober, and
Awesome.
I'm so dedicated to bowling now. Now that I know I can compete, I bowled my first PBA 50 event, in Fountain Valley, California, and I cashed. I'm going, maybe I do belong here.
Yeah.
But I wish I had more time to go do more events. But it's funny, is where you go from one stage of your life and you slowly creep up, and now I enjoy it so much now. Do I wish I could take it back? Absolutely not. Because who knows?
Yeah.
Then who? I know, like the Pete Webers of the world. They've all had some abuse at some time in chemicals of form. But did it stop them? Absolutely not.
No.
But it thrives me now, because to me, I've taken the time. I've put my time into bowl, and I enjoy it. I don't need alcohol. I don't need any substances, and I know where I'm at in my overall world of bowling.
Yeah.
I can compete at a high level with everybody. But back in the day, I always looked at it. Oh, you win a pot. Guess what? You got to buy a round for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, whoever thought of that? You would, say a lot last game pot for a couple hundred, $200. You buy it around? I thought I was winning money here.
Yeah.
But it's all good, and I would take anything back from the all the people I've met back in the day, even when I drank. I've met thousands of amazing people, and that's what this sport is about. You meet so many people, and yeah, we all run across. I was probably not the nicest person sometimes, but I know how to have fun, and I hope you have fun along with me.
Yeah.
I'm sure other people will tell you, okay, Dana was an asshole. Yeah, I probably was. I was kind of a loudmouth back in the day, but I had a chance to not. I didn't need to prove anything to anybody. I did what I needed to do for myself,
Yeah.
and I did it. And I had an opportunity with both my brothers. And unfortunately, they're all gone. But my brothers, I had two of the oddest brothers. So here's a funny story I'm going to tell you about my oldest brother. He was probably 400 pounds.
Okay.
We're bowling in a traveling league, and his ball gets stuck at the Mermaid in the gutter, and nobody goes in. So he straddles the gutter cap. All of a sudden, next thing you know, he goes through the gutter cap.
Oh no. Oh
And
my goodness. Oh no.
And now he's up to his knee.
Oh
Gosh. And the guy at the counter, you're gonna pay for that.
Yeah.
And my brother was so obnoxious. If you would have come and get that damn thing in the first place, I wouldn't have gone through. And here is him. He's up to his knee. He looks back. Hey guys, how's it going back there?
Oh my god. Yeah.
But yeah, it was, like I said, it's been a fun run, and now it's just time to go out and bowl.
Yeah. For sure. Jay says that he basically agrees with you. League is just for staying tuned up while you're, bowling a couple tournaments every month, in his opinion. He says he's being a chat hog. His apologies, but he also says congratulations. I mean, 26 years that's an awesome accomplishment. I mean,
Yeah.
when you sit and reflect on that, I mean, I know it's different, for those of us just listening to you say the number than it is for you to live it, but you got to know that that's something to really be proud of.
I can't. It's really hard to. I'm so in touch, because I don't have any family members left. And to me, I always had family members that said, "Well, you're never going to quit." And I broke my hand playing Golden Tee golf.
Oh, okay. With a little track ball.
And I hit the machine. I broke it. I was 4 weeks away from nationals.
Oh, geez.
And I'm going, God, was that stupid? I cold turkey the next day. because I knew, what it had cost me, possibly a bowling. So I had literally took my cast off before I got on the plane. I'm bowling in Nashville. I didn't bowl good, but that woke me up. It's like, how long are you going to keep on doing this?
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough that I was able to quit on my own, and there's a lot of people that can't. And, for those people out there that are struggling with alcohol or any kind of abuse, please ask for help. That's the biggest problem with, a lot of people. I know so many people that, yeah, they could use help, but you don't go to them. If they want to quit or need help, they should ask. But don't push it on people because my family, oh, you're never gonna quit, you're gonna do this again. And I didn't need to prove anything. I just stopped. And later in life, like, oh, when are you gonna start up? I'm not. And that was me. I wanted to do it for myself. I didn't have to do it for anybody else. It was for me. My life's been great since I quit. Unless the only problem is I love food now. But yeah, but it's so hard for people to understand that when you're in any addiction, it's hard because you physically, that's another job in itself every day if you're doing that.
Yeah.
And I don't get, I see a lot of my friends are still going full force of drinking. I'm going, God, are you gonna slow down at some point? Now you're 50, 60 years old. Your body's taking a beating. I think that's probably why, I'm probably still alive, because that addiction, if I was still going, I guarantee I wouldn't be here today.
Sure.
And hopefully, like I said, I hope for people that are listening see what I'm talking about and, just look in the mirror and just say, do I have a problem? If I don't, if I can still socially do what I can do, go for it. Otherwise, I have no problem with people drinking or whatever they do. Just do it in a moderate consumption, and just be smart.
Be smart about it. That's a great way to put it. You mentioned that you got kind of a late start, at least relative to a lot of the folks who I've interviewed on this show. But you've got that passion, and that was one of the things that when I messaged Fred Shasso, he mentioned about you. He said the main thing that he's thinking of when it comes to you is your generosity and focus on building and maintaining relationships with the other bowlers. He said you're always happy to chat, share a story. His passion for the sport is impressive. And what you were saying about, kind of let's go out, let's have a good time. That's what this is all about, is basically the same thing that you said to me ahead of that tournament. So that kind of struck me as, wow, this is a guy who can step back and see that this is a competition, but it's also a game. It's fun. And it's something that, we should be happy about doing and not so serious that it messes with, what's up here.
Well, and you're supposed to have fun no matter what.
Yeah.
But there's a time, like some of the tour guys, your time to be in business is when you step on the approach.
Sure.
And that's where my main thing is. But I'm still having fun. It's kind of funny that, yeah, I do my thing when I bowl, but when I'm coming off the approach, I'm kind of thinking of the next time I'm going to be funny. What do I got next to say to people? But that's I got to have fun. I don't want to sit there and be everybody's so serious. Bowling, just have fun. Our talents will let us do what we have to do. Whatever happens in front of us on a bowling lane, you can create whatever you have to. But all this bowling, you can't control the ball after it's out of your hand, for one thing. But don't get mad. You threw the ball, so if you leave a split, you pick it up or whatever you got to do. But you threw that ball. But when I come back, I can't wait for the guys to not miss a bad shot, but you get a guy that might leave a 5-pin. Would you burn your fingers on that one? Because it's wow, you left a 5-pin, huh? Oh, yeah. But that's I appreciate Fred. He's my pro shop guy, and we've known each other. We've both of us been sober for a long time, and back in our drinking days, oh, did we have some times? And back in the Eau Claire, the Bloody Mary Open days. Yeah. Oh, brother, we would be at that White House across that bowling parking lot. Oh, there would be so many people. I mean, drink till 4 or 5 in the morning. If you didn't make the cut, you were drinking.
Sure.
You know, get there Friday. Oh, it's Saturday already. Geez, we better tie one out before we leave.
Yeah.
But you know, but Fred's such a good guy, and you know, I can't. He's so amazing what he does with the bowling ball. You know, all my stuff is amazing what he does, and I thank him for doing everything. Those are nice words.
Yeah.
I'll message him later, and you know, wake him up about 10 or 11.
No, I'm glad that you know, I don't know Fred personally, but I'm glad that he responded to my message on that. Yeah, Jay says people are ready when they're ready as far as the addiction thing. Absolutely. Derek is kind of the converse. He says he's very serious when he bowls. He'll have fun playing checkers, you know, while watching the Bruins, but he's very serious when he bowls. Yeah, it's a serious thing for him. Yeah, he says don't knock people who leave the 5-pin. He has a backup ball and can't for some reason get his hand around the side of it. Yeah, that's true. But you know, Dana's also a good natured guy, and you know, having bowled with him, I mean, yeah, he'll reveal a little bit, but it's all in good fun.
Yeah, that's what it is. You know, everybody might throw a bad ball here or there. You know, it's funny because you know I get ripped on just as much as anybody else, and I love it. I can't wait for somebody to come with something to say to me.
Yeah.
So I like on Friday morning when I bowl, I run the side pots.
Okay.
And I can't walk down a pair without somebody saying something to me, you know. And all you're doing is fueling the fire because I got something to say, you know. And it's just funny. These guys like, when do you ever shut up? I don't. You know, you might see this tonight. I might, you know, say a few words, but you know, that's just my passion. You know, I enjoy bowling and I love people, you know, and if they could see the fun side of me, all right, you know, and you know, like I never told you, you know, the guys that I bowl with on the senior tour now, you know, I didn't know any of them, but they know I'm one of the fun guys. You know, I'm serious when I have to be, but I set aside. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a little fun, and you know that you know just relax and just get out of your. You know, we get to do something that most people don't get to do. You know, this is a physical game. It's hard on our bodies, but we get to do something. Maybe make a paycheck, meet a hell of a lot more friends.
Oh yeah,
you know, and meet. It's amazing, you know, and it's whether it's, you know, some little kid or, you know, I love the the fact that the special needs people. My twin, he was handicapped, and him and his buddy we'd moonlight bowl, and they would come out there. They couldn't, you know, physically, you know, they'd have to stand at the foul line to throw the ball. But you know, just seeing the smile on their faces makes it all that much better. You know, my brother grew up. He spent most of his time in a hospital called Gillette in St. Paul here. You know, so watching him grow up, he didn't have the best world, but he made his life what it was. He had enjoyed life. He'd go to all these baseball games, him and his buddy. They'd go drive to Kansas City, Chicago, but you know, they never let their handicap take over. They just said, you know, this is what were dealt with, but we got to have fun.
Yeah,
and you know, I just love that about you know, watching like Special Olympic kids. You know, when I see people, you know, at tournaments and they say something, I have the time. I have all the time in the world. If you got something to ask me, I'm going to come and talk to you because, you know, I like to be that person. I don't want to be a person to shine people away. You know, if you don't know me, I don't know you, but it doesn't matter. If you want to ask me, come on, I'll talk. Let's talk. If you got an hour, I got an hour like tonight or better.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my side of me because I grew up in that environment to be nice to, you know, when my twin is, you know, in a wheelchair walking around handicapped, I didn't get that. You know, I got to make sure, you know, mom and dad was taking care of him. So, you know, and as brothers, we all had to take care of them. And that's something you learn as you go.
Yeah.
You know, you take care of each other and everything else falls into place.
Right. Yeah, Derek mentions that he's a fellow one-step bowler. He has cerebral palsy and doesn't have him. Life is awesome. Let's
And
go.
and that's what my brother had. He had cerebral palsy,
Okay.
and he just what a diehard. He would Andrew. So every time the MD telethon was on, he would literally, if he didn't work one of the phone banks,
Mhm.
he would sit in front of the TV during that whole time.
Mhm.
And I just like, are you still up? And he never missed a beat.
Yeah.
If it wasn't sitting at home, he would go sit at a phone bank for 8 hours at
Well,
the MD, down in Minneapolis.
yeah.
And it's just like, wow, you are. It's nice to see you committed to the people that are of your people being handicapped.
Yeah.
And it just that's who he was, and that's what we got out of it. So Derek, I wish you all the best. Keep on bowling, enjoy your life as long as you can. You know,
Yeah.
one step. It doesn't mean you can still bowl. Have
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know,
And he does a fantastic show called Flush in the Pocket. If anybody
right.
hasn't checked it out, he's got all the heavy hitters,
Hmm.
all the good pros. So yeah, he does great with that. Um, you had mentioned to me that giving back is a big part of your life now.
Mhm.
Did that kind of take root in the fact that your brother was so interested in the MDA telethon and giving back in that way?
Yeah, it's at a point. It took me a while to understand that everybody has their thing. And now we do a lot of things with our county, Ramsey County departments. We give, not if we're not giving food, we're giving clothes, whatever if they ask us, we spend a lot of time with the Ramsey County Sheriff's people. And, it's just nice to give. If I was to win in a case, if I want a ham or a turkey and a bowling, I'd go give it to a food shelf. I don't need it. I'm okay without not having a turkey,
Mhm.
but those people need something.
Yeah.
Any little thing can help. Me and my wife, we make it a promise every time we go to, say, Las Vegas. We go to Las Vegas every year for the Senior Master. Every day we find a homeless person and give them a meal. And then at the end of the week, like when we get punch out a ticket from one of the machines, whatever changes off that, and whatever other dollars that we carry, we'll keep a little baggie of money, and we'll find if we have any groceries. The last day we find one more homeless person, we give them whatever money we have plus our groceries that are left.
Cool.
We just that's something we do, and it's because it comes from your heart.
Mhm.
I don't want to see people. I don't like seeing homeless people, because I don't know their story. But if we can help just a little bit, if everybody can help just a little bit, we might solve some of these issues that our country's dealing with.
Yeah.
But it's so good to give.
Yeah.
I don't want anything back from it. I just know that somebody's getting something,
And like you said, it feels good.
right?
Look, you might already have a a Facebook friend when you're done with me here. But yeah, and that simplicity is just the best way to think about it,
Right.
is that it feels good to give. And being from the heart, I mean, I've talked about big brothers, big sisters. I'm involved with United Way here in town. We all can do something. Time, talent, and treasure. Maybe not all three, maybe one of the three, maybe once in a while, but it does feel good to give back.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So it's just interesting because if you have time, a lot of people are busy. I
Mhm.
know people have busy schedules. But if you could just find a little bit of time, or even just donate something once in a blue moon, if you have it,
Yeah.
we make it a point when we find deals. Whether it's a department store, if there's clothing or mittens or hats, you know, if it's on sale, if you can afford it, we do it. We'll buy, 5 or 6 pairs of socks and hats and whatever. But, it's not killing us.
Yeah.
Like this weekend, we're doing a 5K walk for the Burnsville people that were the officers and ambulance driver they were killed.
Yeah.
So we're doing it with our county, Ramsey County people again. And, you know, that's just, I got time. I'm going to give my time up,
Yeah.
and it's good to support everything. If
Mhm.
whatever you can do, like I said, kind of a softie sometimes, and people don't really now they're hearing this part because they don't know that I do this behind the scenes.
Mhm.
You know, I don't usually talk about it very often, but since I'm on your podcast, it's good to talk about it. And
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, like you said, it comes from the heart. It's what you're passionate about,
Right.
and that's what makes it great, honestly. Let's see. Okay, so I want to get back to the bowling part here. Jay's diving right in off topic. He shot 699 a couple weeks ago with a high game of 237. There you go. Jay's out in California, so
those are some pretty consistent games to shoot 699.
yeah.
If he had 230, 233 is he bowled really well there. Good for him. Good going, Jay.
Yeah. Amanda says hi, Dad.
Hi, Amanda. How are you? That's my oldest daughter.
Okay, there you go. Thanks for joining in. Let's see. Derek says, if you don't need a turkey, how do you make money in bowling? But you need a turkey to succeed.
You're right. Easiest way. If you don't need a turkey, then you pick up all your spares.
There you go.
And then maybe there's a turkey at the end of the line.
Yep.
You know.
My dad used to say, make the spares and the strikes will come. Let's see. Talon says he bowled with you during the MJBT CBA doubles event and that you're really a great guy. Talon has been on the show before, and he's one of our promising juniors in the Eau Claire area.
Yep, I believe we're up in Monticello then. Oh yeah, that was a fun tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, the kids are always fun to bowl with because they're the talent's endless for them. You get these younger kids that are out there now. You know, we don't right now. We don't see the real picture. I mean, it's coming. I think bowling's coming back in a big way. All these younger kids now. Granted, a lot of them are two-handed, but it's still you can see the uprise in the younger kids. Thank you for coming back and bowling. You know, we were going down for a while, but the junior programs are thriving. You know, and you got great coaches out there. That's what's keeping kids interested. You know, and that's the biggest thing right now. And if a kid just wants to take time and just say, this is all right, this is fun. You don't have to be great.
Yeah.
As long as you got other teammates that on a Saturday morning, you and your 4 or 5 buddies could join the team together. We don't have to be good, but we're having fun.
Yeah.
And that's what you take out of it. It's not about, you want to be good. Absolutely. Everybody wants to thrive to the best of their ability.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could get your buddies to come up and go, hey, how was that today? We both really good, and we just beat the other team. But it's something you don't get because maybe they go to school together, but outside of school, a lot of times kids don't hang out. They're just mom and dad have brought them to bowling alley. Hey, we signed you up.
Yeah.
I didn't know him. I mean, most of your bowlers that you ever bowled with, I didn't even know half of them what they did.
Mm-hmm.
I just bowled.
Yeah.
I never asked, hey, what's your job? What's that? You ended up just hooking up with some people, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
And good for him. All those junior bowlers are really fun to bowl with. And, I'm always, if Jason needs an adult for that event, call me and I'll pick up. Give me whoever you got. I'll take them, and work with them as we're going on, as long as they don't beat me.
Just wait. They've got some coming up, and Talon is certainly among them who are really, getting the best of this game. That's for sure. Danielle says, "Love you, Dad." You got the whole family coming on. T-Rex.
That'd be my son.
That makes 3 of us. Hi, Dad, and Jay says yes, consistency. I do want to pull up another video that I put together with Jessica and Sarah, kind of talking a little bit more about the skills that you kind of bring to the table on the lanes. Listen.
He knows how to make the right adjustments when and he's a fantastic spare shooter.
Just watching him, being able to get through the transitions and switch what he needs to, what bowling balls does he got to switch to, where does he need to move for the lane, where is that transition, he knows where he's going to have to go.
I didn't know this about him the other day. He used to shoot left-handed too, so he knows how to bowl left-handed and right-handed.
So we got to see some of that, right? We got to see the left-handedness after we saw the right-handedness. How did you end up, bowling both ways?
Back this is probably 90 in the late 90s. My two brothers were left-handed,
Okay.
and during the drinking days, I talked a little smack. I could beat you guys left-handed. So I just said, let's go. And from day one, I walked up naturally. Maybe I was supposed to be a left-hander because it just seemed like it ball always came off my hand a lot cleaner than it did right-handed. I've had other teachers telling me, why do you bowl right-handed when you could throw the ball that good left-handed? Yeah. But because I wanted to bowl right-handed. So I just recently, those are recent pictures. I just started up again. It's been 12 years since I, quit bowling left-handed. Once in a while I throw a couple balls here and there. But 12 years ago, I left the left hand. I think I was at my peak. I was the first one in our state to average 220 right and left-handed in the same season.
Wow.
And I just, where am I going to go from there? I accomplished. I never thought I'd accomplish that high. A lot of guys go out, 2-0 if at best, but I got to 220, and I did it basically. I bowled in the morning left-handed, and at night I was 220 right-handed. So it was like, all right. But when I first bowled back years ago, I bowled the amateur bowlers tour. And I asked the director, "Can I bowl left-handed?" I had it bowled left-handed, but the first place was 4,200. I'm going, "Can I bowl it?" He goes, "Yeah, I'll let you in at this," because I went out and practiced. I couldn't break 170. I'm going, "Oh, brother,
yeah,
this could be an experience." But for the money, I said, "I'll try it." And I went to Dracula's, and it happened at that time. It was kind of a soft left-handed shot. I'm going, if I just get my feet under me, I'm using my right-handed equipment. I'm using my right-handed shoes, so stopping. I wasn't sliding. I was kind of stopping. But I made it through qualifying. And I'm going, all right, let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
Well, then, of course, then I unload. I shoot like 750 scratch. Oh, who's this bagger? Jesus. I'm going, I just threw the ball great. I ended up winning the tournament and got the 4,200. And the guy goes, I have to kick you out of that division. I got to jump you up. And that's okay. That's fine. I understand. That's your rules.
Yeah.
But I tried another tournament left-handed in the Masters division, and I lose in the final. So I just started, let's play with this a little bit more. And but I've tried drilling balls left-handed. It doesn't feel the same. But I've got my right-footed shoe. I've slid enough left-handed that it's smooth now. So I don't have to switch shoes.
There you go. Yeah.
But it's just fun.
No, thanks.
And like I said, after that, I just said, I'll dabble once in a while. So now I'm bowling my summer league left-handed. I wanted to see if I could do this again.
Yeah. Yeah. And thanks to T-Rex for helping me with that video, by the way. He sent it over.
I told him, and then he doesn't like it because I beat him a few times when I'm bowling left. He throws left-handed too, but but dad still beats him. And it's fun, but it's kind of. So I'm gonna tell you, Andrew. I'll tell you the first story about that left-handed thing. I was bowling my first, like I said, the PBA 50 stop out in California. And I'm practicing, and I see how soft the left side was. And Parker and them are just killing it. I'm going. So I switch over to left hand. And Parker walks over. You just throw that with your other hand? I go, yeah. So he grabs Mike Scroggins and a couple other left-handers. You got to see this guy because they don't know me yet.
Yeah.
There's a few guys, Pete Weber and them would know me. So I start throwing. I throw like a dozen strikes in a row. He goes, you throw the ball better left-handed. I go, don't make me use this against you. And they're going, wow, why do you throw right-handed? And that's sort of, I just took off with that. It's kind of fun, but they go, wow, you make it look easy both sides, and I just have fun, so because I used to mess with people like, hey, I'll bowl you opposite handed, that old theory. If they don't know me, it's kind of fun. Yeah, can I use your ball too if it's okay? It's kind of a slap a little bit, but it's kind of funny, really.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I'm somewhat gifted, I guess. you know, that I can bowl both ways. And
is this the point where I get to say, well, you're not going to be able to do that anymore because they all watch the show?
well, you know, it's funny is that the left-handers, you know, how I know, you know, and I know how many left-handers complain about this and that. I've been on that side. Why are you complaining? You got it. It's soft over there. You know, and it's just funny that way. It's like, oh, good. They always try to shut us up. No, they're not.
Yeah. So Jay says you're fortunate to have all your kids and friends in here supporting you. I think that's really cool. Warren, who is one of my teammates in league, says, when is Dana going thumbless?
When it gets cut off. Thumbless. Oh no, we won't go that. We're getting too old. We got to have the whole hand. We got to keep 3 in the cylinder.
Yeah. Well, Mark Baker came on here and said he had
such a good guy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Mark Baker came on and said he had a 74-year-old guy go from traditional to two-handed. I can't even imagine doing that. I'm years away from that, but yeah. And Jay says looking like a real lefty too. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
well, you know, it's funny. So back when I was doing all that goofing around, you know, I would always throw between my legs too. Yeah. And it's like, it was actually all right. And I bet you I could have probably hold 180. They're going, why do you do that? You just make everybody else look silly. You know, a lot of times when we're practicing and there's a bunch of young kids around and, you know, I'll mess around right or left or between my legs. Dad, look at this guy. Look what he's doing. You know, and that's the fun part of bowling. You know, just go out. You know, if I can't do that anymore. Then, you know, we're gonna throw a hip out or something like that if I try to go between the legs. But, you know, but it was always just if there was people around. It wasn't showboating. It was just people don't get to always see that when they come. You know, most people just throw balls straight. You know, but you know the little kids always like, Dad, that's fun to watch. You know, that's what it's about. Simple as that.
Yeah, for sure. No, I want to remind folks that if they're interested in supporting the show, please subscribe. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, and we've had a nice push during the PWBA. Doesn't cost you anything. It's the best way to help out the channel. And all that good stuff. Certainly appreciate the support. And once we hit 2,000, we'll do a little giveaway. I've got something in the works. T-Rex says you shot 289 at him in practice between your legs about 10 years ago. Oh my gosh.
We're not going to talk about that. He doesn't like me.
My goodness.
He remembers all that stuff. You know, I don't always remember all the things, but my son knows because unfortunately I have a lot more better days against him than I do worse days. He's not liking me now that Dad's gotten a little better as I got older. So it's like it's tougher for him to beat me.
Yeah.
You know, but God, he throws the ball great still. You know, and it's fun. You know.
Yeah.
I can't believe that he remembered that one. But that's how it was back then, Andrew. It was I could do things with a bowling ball that's kind of crazy. I just never applied myself. Like not like it is now. I definitely applied myself to the date game, and you know, and that's why I'm, you know, trying that PBA 50 stuff is for that reason only. You know, because I know now I can compete at the higher levels and still enjoy myself.
Yeah. Fred mentioned that. He said, you know, that you've really worked on your game these days and greatly improved on spare shooting. He says he thinks you're the only player to have 40 clean frames for the Twin Cities 700 Club this season.
We're crossing our fingers. I hope so. I had one squad to go the last Friday.
Okay.
And I hadn't heard. There was 2 guys, but one guy he went strike 9 open, and he thought he was still clean. I go, it's all the frames. It's not just because you have the 10th frame, you still have to finish it.
Yeah.
So of all people, there might be one other guy, but otherwise, you know, that'd be awesome. You know, I had a really good day when I bowled it, and just, you know, I'm hard on myself because I think I'm a really good spare shooter now. You know, from what I learned last year at the World Series, what I needed to do to get to that point. I was okay, but I really believe I did what I had, my due diligence to get to that level again.
Yeah.
And oh my God, this year I had I just had a number, like my 10-pin shooting, it was like 98.5%.
Wow.
I had a phenomenal year of picking up a 10-pin. Normally it would have probably been in the middle 80s. But I've taken the pride. I actually practice a lot more than I ever practice because I want to be that guy now. I know I can compete with those other guys that are out on tour and not just going and say, okay, what am I going to do? Am I really just donating? I personally think I can win now. Now that I've did everything I had to do to understanding the game a lot more, and I watch a lot of stuff, between Brad Angelo's his show and a bunch. I take a lot of stuff in, and then I take it take it to the lanes just to understand a little bit more about the game, and it's. You don't have to use, people talk about using this ball on this pattern. I've learned you could go reverse opposite on it. When guys are using shiny or a shorter pattern now is you could actually use the big balls, on a short pattern. You just have to understand how it works.
Yeah.
And that's what in Fred's case, we're bowling something down at one of the tournaments, and he goes, "What are you using that ball for?" Just watch it. My ball is slowing down, and then it's creating its energy still. And your balls are going, hooking left, right now. And he goes, "Wow, I guess I never noticed that." But that's something I picked up. I've watching from, the senior tour guys. Like, wow, I would have never thought to use that ball, but now I know I can use that ball.
Sure.
And it's just amazing that if you take the time and understand all your equipment. I bring when me and my son practice, our goal normally is we try to bring enough equipment, but we bowl 2 games at a time, and you can't use the same ball twice until we go through all of them.
Okay.
So, I might use a high end, I might use a low end ball, and then 2 high ends or 2 low ends. But that's how I practice is I try to play the same line with every ball. So that creates your different hand motions. It creates your hand down lane motions, and that's something I've learned. And I practice and practice just for that reason. I got to see it in front of me. If you can't see it, you ain't going to do it.
Right.
And that's something that, I try to ensue in people. It's not just throwing a bowling ball to an area. You got to understand, and like I said, when my kid and me do that, it's kind of fun to do it that way. That's a good how to practice is take a bunch of bowling balls with you and just keep throwing them.
Sure.
And then that creates you can also create you start there and you work away across the lane, and the only way you're going to ever get better is to understand how to play the gutter, work there, and just walk across the lane. Because, the biggest thing of most bowlers and most of the conventional bowlers that were the old school, up the back of the ball, that they all know how to play 10-second arrow or right. But when you got them inside, they're handcuffed because they can't get their hand around the ball enough.
Yeah.
And that's when I move left, that's more what I like to do is get further left, 20, fourth or fifth arrow. I'm in my, where I'm comfortable. But, now they see me out by the gutter, like, why is he out there? He doesn't normally play because I've learned how to do it.
Yeah.
And I prefer to be out there, but if you see me get further left, Dana moved left hard. Oh, he sees something, and I take advantage of that when I see the rest of the players can't do that. Especially locally, we got a lot of guys that are going. They see it. They go, Dana jumped 3 arrows left of us. Oh, he knows something.
Yeah.
But I can get it back from there. And a lot of them that were the old school it's kind of flat out of their hand, so it's hard to carry the corners.
Sure.
But it's something that I've learned, and I take the time. Like I said, I religiously take the time now.
Yeah. And what that does is that builds the confidence. And you mentioned it before, it gave you the confidence to go out and bowl these PBA 50s and bowl the PBA 50 World Series of Bowling, which you did this past season. And I asked Fred about that because I wanted to hear from his perspective, what he saw from you. And he said it was great. He said he especially liked the way that you held up early when things weren't going well. He said you kept working, kept learning, and then you got on a pattern that you matched up well with, you made the cut, and also by staying patient and working hard, made the cut to the World Championship.
Yeah, I was before I went there, I had a timing issue. Parker Bone had worked with me in Vegas. He goes, I was a wreck. I was a complete train wreck because I was doing some things that he goes, don't ever do that again. 45 minutes of working with my feet. He goes, go back home. And my wife had gone, she had said, hey, go bowl the World Series. I go, I can't even average 200 in blue right now. She goes, just go. Here's your early birthday present before you turn 60. Go visit. And my buddy lived up in Detroit area. Stay with him. And after the first day, I think I was in 154th out of like 170. But somewhere in the middle of that block, something clicked. I felt something. Like all of a sudden, my timing started coming back. Because I had to throw the ball harder. When you have to throw the ball harder, you have to know how to plant so you can throw it harder. Sure. And all of a sudden, the next day, I'm going, I'm comfortable now. I didn't score well, but I threw the ball really good for 8 games. But I made a move. I moved up to 100th place. So when me and my buddy were going into the third round of Johnny Petraglia pattern, I go, when we left the house, I go, what's the number 8 spot right now? What do I need? Because I was going to a longer pattern. I think it was 46. And he goes 230 plus 230 right now. All right. We get there and I go plus 250 that day. Wow. I make the top 16 of Johnny Petraglia pattern, and that jumped me into like 53rd or 54th in the World Championship. So I got to bowl, 2 more events. And I took that. I go, I actually had a moment after I made the top 16 that I had to pull myself aside, Andrew. That was humbling to me that I made that big a return after what I've been going through to get on the top 16. It's like, wow. And then to hear your name, hey, the last guy into the field, I'm going, wow, it finally come full circle. I did what I had to do. I grinded it out and I made both shows or both events. I called my wife. I go, we tripled our money at least. And, from there on, I said, I'm going to dedicate my game from that, what I learned there. And I absolutely have done it. I ended up winning right away early in the season. I win a Masters qualifier to go bowl, when we go bowl in a couple of weeks when I go to bowl the Senior Masters. I won the qualifier for that. So that just showed me that I did take the time and put it in. And I got to, I won an event. I've never won a big event around here of that nature to win a qualifier event. So I'm just, thrilled to bowl right now. I can't wait in a couple of weeks because, I think I'm going to do well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I always, me and Fred, we go back and forth, and I thank the guy that you get to talk to because he's just a super nice guy. And he knows I put in the time, and I try to tell him some of the stuff that I'm learning, just so he can work on some of the things. And it's just nice that we have our communication between the two of us. And we are really good friends, and I'm glad to say that I'm his friend.
Yeah. Yeah. So your son remembers all the ass whoopings. Just so we get that out there. Jay says EJ went 77 for 77 on 10 pins at the last major. That's incredible too. He wants to know if you have ever tried any big PBA Tour events.
I bowled a couple regular events, but I try to get in 2 or 3 senior events now. This year I'm going to bowl. I'm getting ready to bowl, like I said, the Super Senior and the Senior. Then I got 3 other events. I'm going to bowl the World Series again. So I'm going to have, a little bit of time. I think it's 7 events altogether. We'll see how time goes, but I'm going to try to fit in some other stuff. But I really enjoy now that I'm 60, I could bowl super senior events. So it gave me some more bowling. I mean,
There you
not
go.
like I needed any extra, but it's kind of know that I'm only going to bowl guys over 60 years old now.
Yeah.
And my physical game, I believe, is as strong as, when when you go 50, those 50-year-olds are harder when you're 58 because they're coming in off like the young guys. They're coming off that young guys tour, but they're ready to go. We're at 58 now. We've lost a little bit, but now I'm 60. I'm the young guy on the 60 tour. So when you look at it that perspective, I still have a lot of game. A lot of the 60-year-old guys are still down and in players.
Yep.
And it's nice to still have a physical game that I can still throw the ball wherever I need to throw it.
Yep.
But it's nice to get out there. I couldn't compete with the kids. I mean, the kids are way too good. And like the Tom Hesses of the world, they're realizing now those kids are good. You can't compete, especially if you're lofting gutters.
Mm-hmm.
What's an old guy doing, that far left? And I try that. I'm not the best playing 6th or 7th arrow, but I'll try it. I like to get to the left gutter, but I don't. Lofting the ball just doesn't make sense. You take the whole equation of bowling out of it. Yeah. But the young kids are amazing.
Yeah.
EJ's so good at what he does. The craft he does. Yeah, we have all the two-handers, but EJ's just so good. Mm-hmm. People just watch this kid. This is something that's going to be important later, a couple more years down the line. I think he's going to take a run at the tour titles of all time.
Yeah, could be.
I'm sure there's other guys who'll say the Simos and but EJ's on pace to go after Walter Ray.
Sure.
That would have never ever been heard of, to have that many regular tours.
Yeah. And these past 2 years especially, he's really stepped it up, and it's been amazing to see. So you've seen the show enough to know that at the end, I do this thing called Off the Sheet, where I ask you to challenge somebody else in bowling to appear on another episode, a future episode. So, Dana Wright, who would you like to challenge to be on a future episode of Bowling with the Fef?
My first person I thought about was John Weber, the PBA senior tour director.
Yeah.
What I've seen of John, and what I don't get to bowl a lot of the events, but just watching him and his people that work around him, the hard work and dedication he put in all those years of being a tour director. I'd like to have John Weber come on there. Yeah. Otherwise, my other choice would be Terry McKinney, the coach at the Feature Bowl College. Terry's we're kind of friends now, and Terry's. I like that he's taken on that job, and he's very good at coaching. He's been a coach before, but now he gets to coach at a college level, and he's such a good guy. But John Weber would be my first, and then Terry, because John is such a nice guy. And he does. Yeah, they gave him the Hall of Fame thing, but I like to see somebody talk to him and just get a little bit out of him, because he's normally kind of a quiet guy that I could see. But it would be nice to hear his take on some things over the years, of all the years that he did the tour. And so I hope John, you could. I mean, if you need John's number, if you want to, catch up, I can give it to you.
Okay.
It'd be really cool to see him on your show, because it'll be a lot of insight from John. Not just because his brother's Pete. Nobody knows him.
Yeah,
that Pete Weber guy. He's just another guy. But yeah, I appreciate you having me on your show. I'm glad you reached out to me, and we'll always keep in touch. That's the fun part about it.
Yeah, no, this has been great, and yeah, John, Terry, fabulous ideas. If either of you are watching this and want to take Dana up on his challenge, just shoot me an email, bowlingwiththefef@yahoo.com. We'll make that happen. Actually, no live stream next week, because I'm heading over to Alexandria for the Minnesota USBC Hall of Fame. Then on the other side of that, Noah Sieben from this area, from Eau Claire. He's another talented junior player. North High School bowler who's going to come on. Actually accepted the challenge, an off-the-sheet challenge from Peyton Schwetz about 10, 12 episodes ago. So he'll be with us Tuesday, May 21st, 7 p.m. Central. But yeah, Dana, it's been awesome. I really appreciate you not only, being willing to come on the show, but asking me to bowl with you, bowl doubles and all that stuff.
And remember, people, get your chip salsa
There you
and
go.
pick up your spares.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Chip magnet salsa. No, that's awesome.
We got to promote for you.
Yeah, I love that.
I appreciate your time, Andrew, and thanks for getting back to me. And we'll talk soon. And everybody, have a good night. We'll take care.
You got it. Yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Always appreciated. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.